Guys, big away game coming up this Saturday night. Man United versus Chelsea. You're here with your boy NJ and Marky Mark to break down this game. Mark, Chelsea venturing out of London for the first time this season. What are your thoughts, my man?
I think that the problem is that Chelsea are travelling to Germany to take on their first game in the Champions League against Bayern Munich. That's on Wednesday. 2 days later, well, 3 days later, technically, they're now going to have to travel to Manchester United. If they did not have that midweek game, I think that Chelsea will absolutely walk all over Manchester United. And already in the previous game,
backtracking already, my man. Backtracking already, yeah. Yeah,
but it's true.
Carry on.
It's true. It's true.
That's not changed since the last time you said. I asked you last week, Mark. United, you got United coming up next week. There was the week before when we were previewing whoever you just played.
Fair, I did. But I did say that.
Maybe you're going off the back of the Brentford game now. Who knows? Right, go on.
No, I'm not. And you know what? Yeah, in last week's preview, no, I'll be quiet. Last week's preview, I did say to you, this game against Brentford, right? When we're going to be playing side to side, and we're not going to see an expansive attacking football. And you was like, I disagree. I think that you're going to go to Brentford and wipe the floor with them. I can't see nothing but a win. Did you say that? Yes or no?
Yes, I absolutely did. I put too much faith in your Chelsea side.
And I didn't. I was realistic. I have always said to you, for the past few weeks.
Win. You went for a Chelsea win.
I went for a Chelsea win, but I didn't say it's going to be. I didn't say we're going to steamroll them, and I think I said that it's going to be side to side type of football. And I said in the game next week against Manchester United, we're going to put it on them, and I still think that, even though we do have a mid-game last week, mid-game 2 days before that Manchester United game. Right. Last week, I did forget that we are in the Champions League. We haven't been there for a few years. Right. So I completely forgot. Now that I've seen the fixture list, bro, we don't have that much time. We're going to come back on Thursday, and 2 days later, we're playing Manchester United. You have to take that in consideration. Now, that being said,
I have.
Right.
Yep.
I still believe that they are going to go there and win. Maybe not absolutely whack the floor, because I think that the energy levels are going to be tired. They haven't had enough rest. I think that's going to play a little bit of a part into it. We do have the squad deep enough to rotate, but they will put it on Manchester United. That is still what I think. But I don't think we're going to run away with it. I don't think we're going to demolish it, because I think that mid game in the midweek against Bayern Munich, that's going to take a lot out of the players as well as the manager. That's what I think. Now, before we get into the actual preview, let's talk about the game against Brentford, because as I've always said for the past few weeks, Chelsea only play two types of ways: side to side, no creativity type of game, or they go out gung ho. And that game against Brentford was the exact example of it. The first half, boring side to side, no creativity. Second half, exciting, attacking, gung-ho football. Right? And that's exactly how Chelsea play. If Chelsea play like that in the second half against pretty much every team, we have a big chance about beating any team. And that's what I do believe. Enzo Maresca messed up on that game. Now, I don't want to say completely messed up, because obviously he's got one eye on the Bayern Munich game on Wednesday. But the starting 11, that would not have been my starting 11. I did not know he was going to pick that team. You can't pick, who is it on the right or on the left? Gerald Hatto, Wesley Fofana on the right. You're putting Jamie Gittins on the left. Jamie Gittins is a raw player. I think he's going to be an exciting player, but I think he's a type of player that needs to be dripped in. I don't think he's fit enough in all aspects to start for Chelsea. That's honestly what I think. So that starting lineup was an absolute disappointment. Then they put that new player from Brighton who we got on loan, Boyanetta, as the number 10. Bro, of course we're going to struggle. Enzo Maresca messed that up. You had a deep enough squad. You didn't need to put that. It all changed Well, I do like it that Maresca was very proactive, and at halftime, he realised that he made a mistake. So he removed both of those fullbacks, Hato and Fofana, and he put on the big boys in Cucurella and Reece James, and the game instantly changed. It instantly changed. Yeah? It all depends as well who he's going to be selecting, which, of course, is the manager's job. Hopefully, and we don't know what he's going to be, we don't know the lineup that he's going to make for Bayern Munich and how much that's going to affect the lineup that he's going to play at Manchester United. If the Manchester United Chelsea team has Hato, who he's a quality player, he's young, right? But you're 19, you're coming into the Premier League, right? It doesn't make too much sense to start him, especially at a big game like Manchester United away at Old Trafford. Bayern, don't start him. Right? He's a squad player. He can come on when we're winning. Right back, don't play Wesley Fofana. When's the last time you've seen Wesley Fofana play a right back? It must have been over 2-3 years ago because he's been injured for 2-3 years ago. So I have a bit of a problem with the team selection. If he selects this sort of whack-ass team on Saturday against Manchester United, then that's going to affect my predictions of the game. If I pick the team, that Manchester United team would friggin' win. I should be manager of Chelsea. That's what it is.
I mean, Marks, you've made a passionate pitch about replacing Maresca. Maybe that will happen. Maybe it'll happen by Christmas if he continues gambles like that don't pay off. So look, devil's advocate, he made a gamble with the fact that you've got 3 away games coming up. So Brentford, followed by Bayern Munich, followed by going up to Old Trafford to play United. So he's taking a gamble. He's taking a bit of a risk. He's thinking, okay, it's Brentford, and I'm not giving him an escape
Get it,
route here. I'm just saying.
I get it.
But the problem now that you've got, it's all well and good if the gamble pays off, right? And you go away and you win 2-0 at Brentford, and it's not a problem. The problem that you now have is that the gamble didn't pay off. Then you've had to bring some big guns on, make some changes, and actually then chase the game. Then you chase the game, and you should then end up winning the game at the death, but obviously you concede. Now you've got to go to Bayern Munich. That's a tough place to go at the best of times, but he's now gone there with a gamble that hasn't paid off on the weekend. You've dropped more points, and then you've got Old Trafford. You've got Man United coming up. This fixture, these next 2 games now look very, very tricky. They look very, very tough because of Maresca's own doing. But like you said, he's proactive. He will make changes when they need to be made.
Yeah.
What do we think of the game itself? I know it's you play at 2 speeds, right? You play it slow or fast, and there's no kind of happy medium at the moment. But do you think there's any positives that you can take out of there that give you some confidence still that you can get something out of these next 2 games?
Well, the positives are, I don't know if it's a positive or negative, but he had to bring on Cole Palmer on the 60th minute. That was another proactive change. And obviously, like 4 or 5 minutes later, Cole Palmer gets the goal. And I don't know if it's a good thing because I would like to have Cole Palmer rested. He's clearly not 100%, but you needed to bring him on to change the game, which he absolutely did. The game still run through him. I've had even I've said it. I'll admit it. In the past, I've said last few pods, no Palmer, no problem. But I'm changing my mind. I still think that the game is so reliant on Cole Palmer. That's honestly what I think at this moment in time. And that's a shame because Chelsea have got so many wicked players and brought in so many new players. I think the biggest problem that Chelsea have is Enzo Maresca and how he's like at half time, right? Apart from that Brentford game, it's because they made 2 massive changes on the wings. But from what I've seen previously at half time, Chelsea players don't come out energetic. They don't seem motivated by whatever Maresca said at half time. I think that's something that he may need to work on. Additionally, Enzo Maresca is a big factor because last season, we were hardly in any competitions. Okay, fine, we were. But we literally had a second string team who he would play on the Carabao Cup and in the Conference League. the 11 was completely different, which means the first 11 had a week every week to pretty much recover and prep for the next game. This season is totally, totally different. Maresca now has multiple games in the week, and we need to see if he can manage it. And I don't think he can, because his team selections at Brentford was just, for me, so off. I get it. You need to rotate the team around. I get that, but not make such as drastic changes where you're seriously diminishing like the quality of the team. And that's what I think that he did. It was
really odd. And this is the thing, right? Yes, you haven't been in the Champions League for a little while. This Champions League format is now different as well, so you've got to adapt to that. Every game is now big in the Champions League. There's no easier fixtures to an extent. I mean, there are, but you get my point. He's really going to have to rotate this squad. And this was the thing we spoke about, right, before the season started, is that...
We did.
Chelsea have got... they've made some good signings as a bigger squad, but also, or like a better quality squad, I guess. You've added some real quality in it, but we really are going to see them get tested this season because you don't have the luxuries anymore. Yeah, no luxuries. So this is the next challenge for Maresca. I'm going to give you, I woun't say a little bit of hope, because I know you think you're going to win at Old Trafford anyway, but I want to break something down for you. I've brought up Man United's last 10 Premier League home fixture results and Chelsea's last 10 away. And of the last 10 at home at Old Trafford, United have 2 wins, 2 draws, and 6 losses. Those 2 wins were West Ham and Burnley. So they're in a bit of a we know how much of a dicey situation they're at. And look, historically, it's always been difficult to go away to Old Trafford. But Chelsea have won at least half of their last 10 Premier League games. So 5 wins, 3 draws, and just the 2 losses. The reverse last year, or the same fixture this time last year against United, was a 1-1 draw. So you drew at Old Trafford the last time you played them.
Correct.
So this will be interesting, but surely, whatever happens, if you're going to go to Old Trafford, them coming off the back of a debilitating loss against City, their season's gone flat again, good time to play him, right? Good time to play him.
Absolutely. No better
rest
time.
Cole Palmer again if he needs it against Bayern Munich, and if you can, I don't know if you can. Probably, I don't know what Maresca's going to do, and he might end up doing something crazy like putting Fofana in goal or something. So if he does, you might have to bring Cole Palmer on again. But if you can rest Cole Palmer or give him, maybe another 15, 20-minute cameo again, and he can be fitter for the game up at Old Trafford, I think good time to play him.
No better time to play the worst team in the league. That's what I think. Yeah, I mean, look, as I said, it all depends on what team selection and how he's going to rotate the team. How strong is the team going to be against Manchester United? Or is he going to play all his strongest 11 against Bayern Munich, which I think he's going to do. Right, that's why he wanted to rest those big players of the weekend against Brentford. But it's a big challenge for Maresca. He's not going to be able to have a second team who he can just call upon, because now you're in the Champions League and now we have games every couple of days. And the big test for Chelsea is the manager and how he's going to rotate that squad. Right? If he comes out and we have if we have a fairly strong squad, Chelsea should have enough to do Manchester United. That's what I think. But steamrolling them, it could happen, but I doubt that's going to happen because we have a game a couple of days before against Bayern Munich. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an odd one, because even though it's United and they're poor, you still got to go away to Old Trafford, and it's the 3rd of 3 straight away games. It's going to be tough. This is going to be tough. Doesn't matter. It's almost, yes, it's United. And if you take the game in isolation, fine, you'd say, yeah, Chelsea are favourites. But like you just said, and like what we just covered, you've got 3 away games. Maresca's getting tested now. And then you've got to go, it's not down the road, Mark. Every game you've played this season has been in London. Every game.
Mm.
You've played Palace, you've played West Ham, you've played Fulham, and you've played Brentford. You've not left. Pretty much the only time you've left West London is for the West Ham game to go to East London. That's as far as you've gone. All of your other games have been in West London. So that's another test now that you've got. You know, you've got to go away to Germany against the best team in Germany and one of the best teams in Europe. You've got to come through that unscathed in terms of injuries and whatever else. And then you've got to travel up north. Meanwhile, United, what are they doing during the week? Watching EastEnders. Exactly. So that's the point, right?
Game. Yeah,
exactly. But they can put their feet up. So that's another thing. And then, I don't know, is Cunha going to be back for that game or not?
It should be.
See, that's another thing. I think it could be an interesting one, Mark.
I'm not really scared of Cunha, though, but to be fair, but that's all right.
Famous last words. Don't say that. And then he ends up scoring.
I'm saying that.
I quite like Cunha, but yeah, okay, fine. I mean, you shouldn't really be fearing United anyway for all their bluster, whatever they put on you. They just don't create any chances. They don't create any chances against decent sides. So let's see what happens. But I think, yeah, this could be a real interesting one, Mark. The other thing I wanted to say as well is that you've had 4 games in London, 8 points. Are you happy with that return? Do you think it's a bit below average? Do you think you should have more points on the board, at least 10?
Absolutely. Don't forget, though, we're only 1 point behind Arsenal. Granted, there's context behind that. You've played bigger teams, Liverpool and stuff like that. But it's not the be-all, end-all. But yes, we've played basically lower half end of the table teams. Brentford, we should have come away with the win. I mean, they played really well, to be fair, and they've got this long throw in. I think, look, Brentford have lost some players, yeah, and I know you're not the biggest fan of their manager, but any team that goes to Brentford probably will struggle, Geezer, because they still play confident. They're still a little bit balanced. They do this long throw-in thing, and they crowd the box. They don't just sit back, which is a good thing for them. So, but well and truly, Chelsea still should have picked up 3 points from there. We should have at least 9 points, to be fair, but it hasn't happened. It's not the end of the world. We've only played a few games. We've got a lot of new players that still need a little bit more time to integrate into the team, to become more settled, to get used to playing with the current crop of last season's players. So look, can't say too much. I'm not so upset. We've got 8 points. We should have more, but it is what it is. There's still a long way in the season to grow, to become more cohesive, to learn and gel together a little bit better. So yeah, let's see how it goes. I haven't been blown away. I haven't been blown away.
Well, I think the last bit you just said there is the interesting bit here. Okay, you got 8 points. It's not, there's no drama there, right? Four games, 8 points, not lost yet, undefeated, only conceded, 3 goals. So there's some positives there. I think the biggest thing for me, if I was a Chelsea fan right now and seeing those first 4 games and seeing the easier start to the season in comparison to some other guys like City and Liverpool and Arsenal, Chelsea have had the easiest start on paper. And
yeah, it's true.
Okay, fine. 8 points is fine. That's not the end of the world, but there's not a performance in there, really. I mean, West Ham were just shocking. So, it's an odd one to really. I'm waiting for Chelsea to show or to give a really good performance. And I guess there's no better time to do it than maybe going away to, at least, by name, one of the big boys, going away to Old Trafford and putting in a performance. That would be quite impressive. But I'm waiting for Chelsea to get in gear. If I was a Chelsea fan right now, I'll be honest, Mark, I'd be a little bit concerned with what I've seen, not just from the manager, but also from the players. I'm waiting for something to happen because you couldn't have asked for a better start on paper. You've not had to leave London town. And now that you're entering a period where I think you've got United, you've also got City not too far away. I think you've got Liverpool in November when we come back from the international break, I think. So
we'll do.
Let's see. But maybe... Who? Liverpool? Hey, I kind of hope you do. I kind of hope you do. That could be. Well, Liverpool haven't looked great. Let's be honest. They haven't looked amazing. They have
Haven't.
not looked amazing. I know we've got a Chelsea fan here. I'm just going to bring this up here because we've got a friend of ours who's an ardent Chelsea fan who seemed to be wearing a Liverpool top on the weekend. But anyway, he's saying, mark of champions. I want to ask you this, Mark, before I go to your score prediction. Mark of champions. We've seen it in the years gone by, the Fergie teams, the Wenger teams, the Mourinho teams, the Pep teams, the Klopp teams. When you're not quite on it, but you can still win games, that is the mark of champions. What I will say is there's something different about this Liverpool team. It's not so much that they're not playing well and winning games that I'm wowed by. It's more a case of, and they've won those games, a couple of them with the last kick of the game, whatever, and that's what champions do. You've seen United teams do it, Fergie teams do it all the time. They look a bit suspect to me, Mark. They look suspect. Like Salah has been whack. I'd be worried if I was Liverpool and watching Mo Salah.
We did say
They do look suspect. Kirkes had to get subbed off because he's just a lunatic. I don't know what he's just flying into challenges when he's on a yellow card, flirting with a red. I mean, I don't know, Mark. I know mark of champions, and I know our friend, he loves to say it, mark of champions and this and that, whatever. He's Mr. Know-it-all, only watches Chelsea, but hey-ho, knows everything about the rest of the league, whatever. I don't know. I do think it's too easy to say mark. I think it's lazy to say mark of champions. There is a difference between. Champions. It's not mark of champions. Okay, so tell me what your thoughts are.
There's a big difference, between being lucky and having that statement of mark of champions. Let's take the previous game when Liverpool, geezer, that defender, who did Liverpool play again? Remind me.
Burnley.
My brain's gone. Burnley, that defender on like the 93rd minute when he handballed it, and it was a blatant handball. I watched that game, and Liverpool played terrible. But if he didn't do that, the game would have ended. 0-0. Yeah,
yes.
That's lucky. That's not mark of the champion. They're lucky that they got a penalty. That's fact, bro. The fact is that Liverpool are not the same team as they were last season. Last season, he just took over. He made no signings apart from Chiesa, who he never even played, and he just played with Klopp's team, and he made slight alterations. This season, Liverpool's team is very, very different, right? You've got new wing backs. You've got a new front line. You've got Wurtzer coming in there. All these players, they need a bit of time to gel, to get used to the Premier League. They do not look the same. Yeah. So I would never say at this moment in time, oh, you know what? It's the mark of champions. They're lucky. They're lucky. And I know Liverpool fans are going to, no, we're the best. And they're going to say some crap on our shorts. Say it. I don't care. It's because it's freaking true. What do you think about what I just said? Do you think it's luck? Because that's what I see. They're lucky. Or is it mark of the champions?
Mark, if they'd put it on Burnley yesterday, put it on and eventually keep battering the door, and then it broke down and they got their goal, fine. But Hannibal, poor lad, I do feel for him as well, because
Me
Burnley
too.
played really, really well. It's a moment of madness from the kid, and you see it on his face as soon as that happened. It's head in his hand, and it's horrendous. Yeah, exactly. And
it's an accident.
That, for me, led to Mo Salah's first shot of the game, from what I remember. I remember them going about 80 minutes, and Salah was the only player on the pitch that hadn't had a shot. That is very different to banging on the door against a resolute team and then just breaking it down. That was luck. Then you go back to the Newcastle game, and you go back to them, and against 10 men, Newcastle, the 10 men of Newcastle were the better team.
They were
the better team. And that's the thing, right? Mark of champions. You've won 2 last kick of the games. You've won both those games against 10 men, basically last kick games. As poor as Arsenal were, it took a magic 1 out of 50 Soboslai 35-yard cracker, I will say, cracker, to win that game. And then Bournemouth, you relied again on the 87th minute or something is to score after it went 2-2, and you looked very suspect. And Konate was, I don't know what he was doing. He looked like a geezer stuck in a swimming pool that couldn't swim. So I do think that it's very different to just say mark of the champions. I'm with you. I'm in 100% agreement with you. And Liverpool fans, hit us with it. Oh, and none of you will, because you take it so personally. Guys, it is just opinions. It's just opinions. You don't have to come at us and threaten us. It's just opinions. Give us your opinions. Say what you want. We're all about free speech here. So say what you want. But all we're saying is mark of champions is very different to what I'm seeing from this Liverpool side. This Liverpool team so far have been lucky. In fact, I haven't seen a run of 4 games like this for a long time where you've got maximum points and it's been down to luck rather than, yeah, we've been amazing. So that's our opinion. I agree with you, Mark, on that one.
There you go. All right, lads, let us know what you actually think about that. Before we actually land the plane, Neil is going to give me his score predictions for Manchester United versus Chelsea.
United are in trouble. They look absolutely shocking. They don't know what's going on. Gary Neville made a great point. Ruben Amorim keeps changing his backline. If he keeps changing his backline, you've got no foundation. Chelsea must score, but I think United, either by a suspect penalty or maybe something happens, set piece goal, I don't know. I think United will somehow find a way to get a goal. Chelsea will be tired. 1-1.
I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea. 2-0 Chelsea. Guys, let us know what you think about our predictions. Do you agree with us? Do you think I'm being a little bit too optimistic? I'm sure some people are. It's just that midweek game. By the way, before we actually go into it, yeah, tell me what your prediction is for Bayern Munich versus Chelsea.
Man, horrible place to go. I think it's the first loss of the season for Chelsea. I do think it could be a 1-0 or a 2-1, something like that. I think Harry Kane will be bang up for it. It's a horrible place to go. And I think coming off the back of a draw and then the fact that you got United on the weekend, I don't know, man. I think first loss of the season for Chelsea, but no panic stations. There's a lot of people that will go to Munich and lose. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think that we will lose if I had to bet money on it. But Chelsea usually play better against the better teams where it's a little bit more open. And when teams are a little bit more front forward thinking type of attacking mindset, I think that will help Chelsea. I think Chelsea play better against better teams, especially recently. We haven't played any decent top 10 teams so far. But I think that we'll play well, but Bayern Munich will just be too much for Chelsea, especially in Germany. So yeah, but there shouldn't be too many excuses because Maresca's rested a lot of big players against Brentford. So clearly he's had a big eye or 2 eyes on the Bayern Munich game. It'll be very interesting to see the team he picks for Bayern Munich as well as then the team he picks for Manchester United, because that's going to make a huge difference.
I think he'll pick a similar 11, Mark. I think he'll pick a similar 11.
I think he should. I think that, look, Chelsea are the second youngest team in the league.
Yeah.
And that means the players, you've got energy. There shouldn't be any excuses. You should have played a stronger team against Brentford. And I think, yes, the first 11 of both against Bayern Munich and Man U, I think the players are fit enough and strong enough and energetic enough to play, 2 games in a week. Come on. That's it. So guys, let's know in the comments what you think.
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say, Mark, Chelsea fans, I want to hear what you guys have got to say. Big shout out to Paddy, the Chelsea fan. He engages in our content every week. I know you're watching, mate. So let us know what you think and if you agree with our predictions, because this is the first big test for Chelsea this season, the first big week for obviously the big four as well, but for Chelsea as well. So yeah, good to hear from you. Let us know in the comments below. Mark, land the plane.
If you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing. If you like our content, like the video if you did like it, and click this video right here for our next video, and we see you lot in there. Nice.